Hello everyone, welcome back to JavaScript crash course from beginners to advanced. So this is lecture 4. So today we'll be looking at conditions. So we'll dive into one of the most building blocks of programming called conditions or control structure. So control structure help your program make decisions, branch logic, and response to conditions. So let's break this down. If the conditions or control structures are basically if else and if statement or switch statements. So these are used when you want to execute certain block of code only if a specific condition is true. So this is very important in programming. It's not just JavaScript, it's all principle in all other programming languages. So today we will dive into the practical examples and we'll see how to use it. So let's jump back to our VS Code. So if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to this channel and likes, comments. So let's jump back to our VS Code. So here I have my VS Code. So I have the previous lesson. So this is our code for the previous lesson. So what I will do, I will just remove them so that it does not become messy. So I'll remove this code, what we have here. So just remove it or maybe comment it out. So the case, okay, for student use. So I'll just comment it out so that they can, in case they want to compare their code. So I'll just comment it out. Okay, perfect. So now let's, all right. So now let's write today's lecture. So today we'll be looking at conditions or control structure. So condition, statement, condition statement, or control structure. Right? So we'll be diving into examples. So basically we are talking about if else statement and switch, right? So now we will start with if statement. So this is how if statement works. So you will have a condition. We have if here. This is the keyword. How to pass in if. Then here you will have the condition. So condition will be here. I'll just write condition. So there will be a condition here. And then if this condition evaluate to true, then we will now have a block of code that we write, that we run here, right? We now have a block of code here. Let me remove this one. So we will now, this block of code we have here will become true. Else, if not, then an alternative block of code will run, which is this one. So an alternative code we execute here, right? Alternative code. So code will be executed here if it's false. Then if the code is true, then this code will execute here. So this is basically what what condition is. So you can also put another if else condition there, but I'll talk about that shortly. So this is basically condition statement. So if the condition we have here is true, then here we run. So any code we have here we run. So if it return false, then here any code we have here, then we'll give it an alternative that we run here, right? So else statement will run if here is not true, right? So it's like a default, like something that it will fall back to if here is not true, right? So now let's write the condition here. So for example, let's have a constant. So let's give this condition. So let's give condition here. Let's give it maybe let age. So let's give age of or score. Okay. Okay, let's leave it age. Age. Let's make it 20, right? Let's give it age of 20. So now if I have age of 20, I want to test the condition. So I will say age, if age is greater than or equals to 18, I want to do something, right? So I will write a condition that will execute if age is greater than or equals to 18. So what I'll do here, I'll say alert. Let's have an alert. I'll say you are an adult, right? So once is less than, age is less than, so I will say you are not an adult, right? So now is a condition. So depending on the age of the person that the person pass here, then this condition will run. Else this condition will run. So if the person age is greater than or equals to 18, is 18 years old or above, so the person is an adult. So we want to alert you are an adult. Else, you are not an adult. Are you seeing it? So here could be any other code that will run here, right? Maybe you are creating a site, a website that you only allow an adult to visit. So if the person is a teenager, he will not be allowed to visit that website. So you can write your if condition. So depending on the person age, you want to show the person the website, else you don't want to allow the person into the website, right? So you can do something like this. So here, if I save now, let's go back to our HTML code. So we still have the same HTML code when we started. So if I come here and run, so let me run my code now. So I should get alert, right? That I am an adult, right? You are an adult. So this is if else statement. So if I go back now and say, oh, I changed the age here. So let me give you the age of maybe 17, right? So if I give you the age of 17, I save and I go back to my um, browser. So if I go back here, are you seeing it? You are not an adult. Are you seeing it? So that is it. So I'll give you the age of 17 now. I am not an adult. So this is what they call if-else statement, right? So there's another one inside here that also you can also chain this if statement. You can have multiple if statements by doing if, are you getting s if? So you can do f if like this. So I can say I want to do something like this now. So what I will do, then here I'll change here to s. So here will be s. So I have to still have a default fallback, right? So here will be s, right? So here now I want to put here that you, okay, okay. So here I will say you are a minor here. So in this place I will say you are a teenager, right? So here, what I did here is that you remember we did operators, right? So I combine many operators here. So I have age. I say if age is greater than or equals to 13, then we want to say and, so we want to specify between the age. So if someone is between 13 years and age is less than 17, that is between 13 and 17 years, less than 18. So between 13 and 17 years. So the age bracket between 13 years to 17 years. So then you are a teenager. So if you are not, so 13 years and less than, let's say you are 12 years now, 12 years to 0 years, you are a minor. 12 years to 1 year or 0 years or months, so you are a minor, right? So this is what we did here. So we have been able to chain another if statement. So you can chain it again and have another else if statement again. So at some point it might become very messy, right? So now if I run this same code now, so because here is 17 and it will not enter this block of code, this add dot code, so it will move to the second block, which is to check again age less than or equals to 13 and age less than 18. Remember 17 years is between 13 to 17, right? So it will be a teenager. So if I save and I go back to my browser, so you see you are a teenager. So now if I come back and if I come back here now and I change this age here, let's put it to be 12 years old, right? So it should give me a minor, right? So now if I go back and then I save and I go back, I'm still getting here. So let me refresh. So if I refresh, you are a minor. Are you seeing it? So you are a minor. So that's what happened here. So now I have been able to explain to you what if else statement is. So now let's move to the next statement, which is switch statement. So switch statement. So a switch statement, let's is a way to combine, because at a point you will have multiple else if statements so much that it might be difficult for you to follow up, right? So so because of that, you might want to use switch statement. It's more cleaner to use. So I could say, okay, let's do date. I'll say day. So now I'll have here. So before I before I start writing this, so this is how switch statement work. So switch, you are going to have switch. So on switch, you will have here. Then here you have a condition. So you have a condition here. So once this condition evaluates, we will have case. So there will be case value 1, value 2, value 3, value 4. Are you getting it? So this is what will happen. So this is the default one. So if any of this case does not evaluate to true, then we'll fall back to this default code, right? So if not, we'll fall back to value 1, the case 1, case 2. Also, it's the same thing as this else if here. So you can now fall back to any of this block here, right? So we have value 1 for if the condition here so matches this or matches this. Also, on you can have as much as you want. So I usually use switch statements when I want to use multiple of if statements. So it's cleaner, right? So let's do an example. So if I say let day, let's say day to be equals to, let's say day 3. So now I have this. So now if I come here and change here to day, so I have day here. So here I'll give it day. So once I have day here now, so I have case 1. So here I want to, if the person enter the first day, I want to set it to be Monday, right? So the person enter second day, I want to set it to be Tuesday. So the person enter the third day, so let's have more of this. So if I go back here and case 4, so if the person enter or change the date to day 4, I want to give it Thursday. So if the person entered day 5, is Friday. So okay, let me not have too much of this if statement, this switch statement. So let me stop at Friday, right? So now you see I have day. Depending on the day the person choose or the day we have. So if it's day 1, so I want to give the person uh, Monday. So if it's day 2, I want to have Tuesday. So if it's day 3, which we already have here, is only day 3. So this will fall to here, right? Then day 4, we get Tuesday. Remember, there's one thing you should take note of here. There's a break statement. So what this break statement is to exit out of this switch statement. Should the case you enter any of these blocks. So if you are in day 1, then we have already console.log Monday. So it should exit out of this code. It should not go to case 2. Are you getting it? That's what this break is. Break is used to exit out of a particular condition, right? Or loop. So you use break to exit out. So now is or used to stop the loop, right? Or if statement, use it to stop it or exit, any one of the two. So you can use it like this. So you break out. So if I remove this break, it means even if this condition is true, it enter this first one, it will also go to the second one too. Are you getting it? So we don't want that behavior. So we want it to end here. Once anyone execute to here and anyone execute to here, and so on and so forth. So it's one at a time we want to do. So here now we are giving it day 3, and day 3 we have here is Wednesday, right? So this should print out Wednesday on the cursor, right? So all right, let's just use alert instead of cursor. So I will just do alert, right? So alert. So uh, I'll just change this to alert instead. So here I'll also change this one to alert. So I have this change to alert as well. So this will change to alert. So all right. So if I save now, so I should get day 3, which is Wednesday. So if I save and I go back to my browser, so let's refresh. So okay, I'm getting Wednesday already. So let's refresh now. So I get you are a minor, right? So we know then Wednesday. So let's comment out those ones that are popping up. So this one, this if statement. Okay. Let's comment out the alert so that we don't get that. Okay. All right. I just comment it out. So now if I save, Control S, I save. So we should get Control S. I save now. Then I go back here, so I should get Wednesday, right? So Wednesday. But if I go back and then let's go back and change here day to day 4, right? So if we change it to day 4, this should give us Thursday, right? So I change it to day 4, this should give us Thursday, isn't it? So we have Thursday here. So you see how it's easy to change. So if I say day 5, this should give us Friday, right? If I save now and I go back to here, so if I refresh, I should close this, then refresh. So I have Friday, right? Okay, perfect. So now, all right, let's go to the next topic, which is Truthy. So so the Truthy and false value is something I want you to know here. So there's another one called Truthy and false value, Falsy value. So in JavaScript, not everything needs to be strictly true or false. So the language treats some values as truthy or falsy in condition expression. So you see this a lot. So Falsy value evaluate as false in condition. So we have, and Truthy value, almost everything is evaluated. So now we check an example of what this Truthy is. So for example, here we have something like an empty string, right? So remember, if you have something like false, so if you have a false like a condition, then you have false. So let's do this now. So let's look at truth falsy first. So let's look at falsy condition. So if I say falsy now, condition, so value. So for example, I have something like okay, on falsy value now. So falsy. So now, if I have something like, let's have uh, let's have condition. Let's say let is equals to condition, right? Condition, and then this condition, then I gave it to be false, right? Gave it to be false like this. Then I do an if statement. I say if, then I say condition, right? So condition. So this is if statement. I say alert true, right? Yes, just alert false, right? Alert false, right? So if I do something like this now, remember we gave it true. We gave the variable condition to be false by default, right? So what do you think will come up here? So what will execute between the two? So I'm giving it, if the condition is true, give me true, else give me false, right? So now if I save and I go back here, I refresh this page, are you saying I'm getting false, right? Let me refresh, I get Tuesday, then false. So let's comment out these ones that are giving us here so that we don't have to okay, so the one that is actually coming out now is Friday, right? Let's comment it out so that we don't get it. So here, if I save back now, you see I get false, right? So now if I go back again, you see now we can give it many things. So this is quite very important. So if I set it to 0, let's say I set this value to 0. So if I send this value to 0, so 0 evaluates to false, right? So 0 evaluates to false. So if I save back, if I go back and I refresh, so if I refresh now, you see I get false, right? So 0 is false. Now if I change this to an empty string, let's say an empty string. So an empty string should also evaluate to false, right? If I save and I refresh here, so I refresh, see, I get false, right? So an empty string is also a false. So if I have a null value, so I give it null, so a null value. Remember, null, I spoke about data type, right? If I have a null value, so you see, null value also evaluate to false, right? So if I also go back now and I give it an underdefined, so if I give you, remember an underdefined in data type, underdefined, so this should also evaluate to false, right? So if I go back and I refresh, so this will also give me false. So underdefined is also false, right? So if I go back now and I give it none, so none is when you combine a string with a number. So this will give you none. If not properly formatted, it will give you none. So if I save none, none should also give me false, right? So if I refresh, so we get false, right? Okay, that is for Falsy. Now let's look at Truthy. So that is for Falsy. So I will just comment this one out. So let's create the same condition, but now we are looking at Truthy, right? So if I copy, let's copy paste this. So in this case, we are looking at Truthy. All right. I'll just comment and say Truthy. Okay, Truthy. So we are looking at Truthy in this. All right, Truthy. So we are looking at Truthy now. So if I say condition, so if I say condition, so now this condition I want to give it a value, right? If I give it 45, so since it's a value, it should evaluate to true, right? So if I go back and I refresh, are you seeing it? I get true, right? So now if I give it a value in a string, which let's say hello, so this should evaluate to true, right? If I go back and I refresh, it's true now, right? So if I give it an empty array, so if I go back, so I give it an empty array. So all right, I give it an empty array. So if I save, this should also evaluate to true, right? Are you seeing it? So this evaluate to true, right? And so an empty array will evaluate to true. So you should know this. If not, you have some problem when you're writing your code. So an empty bracket, let's say curly brace, should also give you true. So if I go back and then I refresh, you see I'm seeing true. So these are all the truthy and falsy value we should have, right? So all right, these are the things you should know. With this brings an end to today's lecture. So today you have learned some you have learned everything you should know about condition, right? So in our next lesson we'll continue with what just an assignment for you. So do this, we'll solve it in our next class before we continue. So just divide a number. So assignment. So you can paste the answer in the comment section. So divide, write a program. I say write a program. So assignment, write a program. Write a program. Program that take a number and logs. So a number, we can console log or alert. Let me use alert. An alert even. So it should alert even if a divisible by 2. So s, if it's not divisible by 2, so I just do s here. S, if it's not divisible by 2, it should give me odd, right? So give me odd, right? If it's not. So this is it. Let me break it down so that you can see it. So let me go back to the screen. So that's it. I'm showing you an S code now. So this is not what I want. All right. So GitHub Copilot is doing some expo for you. So this is all right. Reject. I don't want it to show you the example. So this is it. This is the assignment here. So do this, then write it on the comment section. So post your answer on the comment section so that I know that you are following up. So this is it for today. I will see you in our next lecture. So all right, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment your answer on the comment section. So I'll visit. So all right, see you in the next lecture.